Welcome to a new video about square numbers, designed for people around 6 or 7 years old. And so we're going to get straight in there. What is so special about these numbers? 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36. 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36. I'll tell you what's special about them. They can make squares, which you might have guessed from the title of this video. 3, 4. 4 little squares make a slightly bigger square. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 squares make a bigger square as well. So notice here we have 3 lots of 3 squares making one bigger square. So just one more time. Look at this row of 5 squares. If we want to make a bigger square with these 5 squares, let's think about how many we're going to have to add. I picked 5 because adding them is quite easy. So we've got 5, add 5, add 5, add 5, add 5, and now we've got a bigger square. So 5, add 5, add 5, add 5, add 5, which is the same as 5 times 5, which is 25. Now there's another way of writing this one, because you use it so often in maths. You write it like this. So this doesn't say 5 times 2. That little 2 is up in the air. This says 5 squared equals 25. Because when you've got 5 in this row, 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 that means you've got a square with 5 along each side. So we say 5 squared equals 25. Here are all the square numbers up to 144, which if you want to be any good at maths, you've got to learn at some point. They're so important to the mathematical process. So I'll leave them there in case if you do know them already, that's great. If you don't, you want to make sure you've learned all these at some point, because I'll show you how helpful they can be. We can use them to answer questions really quickly. How many little squares are there in a noughts and crosses grid?
9.
Correct, because that's 3 times 3, or 3 squared, which equals 9. And another question, how many squares are there on a chessboard? Here's a picture of a chessboard. There are 8 rows of 8 squares. So how many squares are there on a chessboard?
64.
Correct. That's 8 squared, which equals 64. So squaring numbers is super helpful. Also, you can help with other times tables. If you know 6 times 6 is 36, here's a 6 square of stars. 6 times 6 is 36. If we want to do 7 times 6, we just add another 6 stars like that. Let's watch that again. 36 there. And now there are 7 lots of 6. So it must be 36 plus 6, which is 42. So square numbers very useful for your times tables, and not just their own answer, but answers that are close to them. Finally, before we leave, look at this interesting pattern in the square numbers. So they're written up again. 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49. To get from 1 to 4, we add 3. To get from 4 to 9, we add 5. To get from 9 to 16, we add 7. Then we add 9. Then we add 11, then we add 13. So if you look at these numbers, hopefully you'll notice a pattern. And so to get to the next number, what do you think we're going to do?
Add 15.
Correct. And that does indeed work. But the question I'm going to leave you with is this one. Do you think this pattern goes on forever?
Yes. Make sure to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell.